Hello, 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 welcome to the stream. My name is Daniel Livingstone, and today we are going to be doing some simple cleanup inside of, today we're going to be doing, run it back, we already messed it up. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. My name is Daniel Livingstone, and today we're going to be doing some simple retouching cleanup inside of Photoshop using tools like spot healing, clone stamping, and frequency separation. I have the pleasure of working on this recent client project that I did, which you can see here, for Barry's Bootcamp here in Chicago, also known around the world. But what we got to do is do a couple of team headshots, which I already retouched off stream and delivered because that needed to go out first. But then we also got to do action shots, which were pretty fun. Some kind of like posed stage scenes that are a little more interactive. It was a really good opportunity for my portfolio, and it was nice to be able to get on set, on location, and kind of like experiment and play a little bit. There wasn't any like super rigid production going on, so a lot of it was really up to me and executing my vision and figuring out the best way to properly show these subjects in this space, which was definitely a challenge to do, and I'll explain a little more about that later. In the meantime, we are going to get started. I've already kind of processed these in the way that I've done all my Capture One adjustments. So I definitely want to focus more on like the Photoshop side of things today. And I don't think we'll need to do a whole lot because we spent so much time getting things right in camera, making adjustments with the lighting, with the camera settings. So I'm really confident that this is going to look good straight out of camera. The first thing I'm going to do is run my retouching action. This is kind of my baseline, like, go-to if I don't have a very specific and clear view of what exactly I need to do. This kind of takes care of most of the stuff for me. So this will run my frequency separation layers, which I'll do on almost every image, as well as do some eyes and teeth adjustments. There are no teeth in this. I don't need to whiten the eyes that much because I lit this properly. So we're just going to pump a little bit of brightness into those eyes, bring those to life. And then for frequency separation, we're just going to work on a couple of blemishes. Luckily for me, all of my subjects were so beautiful and gorgeous that they don't need any major retouching. Just a couple touch-ups here and there. So the main challenge of this entire thing, was the red lighting. And if you're familiar with the brand, you'll know that the red lighting is kind of a staple when it comes to the branding of Barry's. So I did want to incorporate that into the imagery. So yeah, that was definitely a huge factor. I wanted to be able to light for the ambient. It's just that was kind of difficult. But I think we pulled it off. We still pulled in a lot of that red accent while still getting like clear, clean lighting on our subject. So I'm just kind of floating around. I'm jumping ahead a little bit to my cleanup layer, which I just do kind of like spot healing around the frame. Just fixing all these little details. It seems that we have a guest today. Hello. There he is. Are you on stream? Okay, go on. So we're just going in and spot healing all the little like imperfections or dust or scratches or just unnecessary details in our shot, cleaning up the floor a little bit. And this is a good reminder that I need to clean my monitor because this is getting really hard to see. Other than that, I think it's just like cleaning off this mirror or all these little extra highlights popping in the mirror. And we can keep the red light. Definitely want to get rid of this streakiness though. Maybe we do get rid of that. Yeah. Just clean off that a little bit. And then this reflection right here. What if we grabbed all this mess that we made, and we just did another content aware fill? I hope that gives us a smooth result. Let's see. Where's my preview? Am I unable to toggle? I guess that's the original, that's the after. We'll see. Yeah, it is better. This is kind of weird. Might have to do a Gen 1. We're gonna do a generative fill on that just to clean up this material. I find that content aware fill is tough when it comes to edges, and it'll give you a really hard line. Same with the spiraling tool. Generative kind of contextualizes and blends out whatever harsh edges you might have. Yeah, see, so this will give us a smoother gradient of that reflection. And I'll probably do the same with this. There we go. And this is the fastest way that I like to do just general cleanup around my frame. Kind of want this to just be smooth and dark. Yep, looks great. So then I'm going to merge all those because I don't want to hold on to all that extra data from my generative options. See if I can get rid of that streak too. Not bad. Alright, so this is cleaned up, this is looking better. Now, the way that I want to fix this, we have two options here. The first one, is by doing a hue saturation adjustment on the reds, moving them towards yellow, and then desaturating them a tad. Flipping that, or inverting that, and then painting where we see red. Maybe at like a lower opacity brush, just to even out that skin tone. It's definitely working down in the chest area. This is the exact effect I wanted to get. And some of those areas where the red is hitting a little harder, like the edges of the face and the nose. Not bad as well. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, I need to title that layer Redness. I just need to make sure my audio levels are good. I probably should have looked into that. Layer Redness. Oh yeah, it's perfect. So we're going to do another layer on top of this, another hue saturation, and we're going to do yellows, and we're going to dial those back to be less makeup-y looking and a little more skin-toned. And I'm only going to hit the most yellow parts, so right here on the cheek, right here underneath the mouth, this other cheek, bridge of the nose, maybe the forehead a tad, right about there. We could probably dial that back a little farther too. Yeah. Now we've kind of evened that out to a very natural looking skin tone. Another thing I can do that I have built in here to my frequency separation is my tonal layer. Oh wow, the retouching, the automatic retouching did a really good job on the legs here too. Impressive work. Okay, cool. Knocked out a couple of those darker shadows for me. And then on the face, I tackled some of this, tackled this, Yeah, this worked out really good. I'm gonna take this a tiny step further and do some of my own custom brushing. So I'm using this solar curve, or this, what do you call it, false color layer, just to visualize some of my data and see where the shadows and the highlights really fall. And that gives me a map of where I should paint things. So I'm gonna hit under this eye a little bit. Maybe lift some of those shadows. So everything you see that's like pink, dark red is a shadow area. Everything that's like blue, dark blue is a highlight area. And that just shows me where to paint for that. I can see that the shadows are pretty heavy by the T-zone, so I'm going to lift those up by the eyebrows a tad. I do like having the dimension and the shape of the face. You don't want to overbrush this because that's the quickest way to like flatten out the face, and then it starts looking very unrealistic and overly retouched. But what we're doing here is essentially the same thing you would do with makeup to the subject before you shoot. And I like to use these techniques when there isn't a makeup artist available for a project. It's just a good way to get it to that final look. There we go. Just a little bit of eye lift. Might pull up some of the shadows here as well. Just a little bit of lift. Same for here, just lifting that up its head. There we go. I may need to reduce some of the lightness in the face. It's starting to look a little flat and even, which we want to keep some of that dimension and contrast. Yeah. And not even so much flat as it looks a little blown out. And on the forehead, I can reduce some of these highlights as well. So it's a very light and loose brushing and painting, and then we end up with a very refined look. Kind of want to do a, like, shape up the light a little bit. Put that on top of everything. Yeah, lifting up some of that fall from the bottom is a good move. And then maybe a vignette would be nice here too. Like a really feathered vignette. Not the shape I want. There we go. So I'm going to do a 600 feather elliptical marquee and kind of just draw my own custom circular shape. I'll create a levels, my goodness. I'm going to use my elliptical marquee with a 600 feather for my custom vignette shape. I'm going to create a levels layer which will automatically create the mask for that. I'm going to invert that mask so it's just the outer edges. And then I'm going to bring down the white point of those edges, and I'm going to bring down the mid-tones as well, just to bring that focus back into our subject. I think these scenes really benefit from vignettes since the background is more for context and not super necessary, like they're not interacting with the background or anything. We've corrected the red color cast on the chest and the face area. I'm okay with leaving it on the arms and the legs because I do want it to accent, especially like on this side. It looks really good on the shoes and the boards. I can probably afford to get rid of this one though. I'm kind of wondering if I might actually do that. Yeah, good job. All right, Photoshop, look at you go. This looks good. I think I'm happy with this. I like this. Just Just gonna zoom in. Oh, I also wanted to fix the color cast on this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create, this was the alternative method we were gonna do for fixing that color cast on our subject earlier, is making a color blending mode layer, blank layer, and then just painting out that color. And you see that really fixes most of the problem here. It looks like there's a little bit of red color spill in the high frequency layer, which is fine. Yeah, it's just a little extra texture. But we can use this to kind of paint out color inconsistency anywhere in the image that we want. So if we don't want any red whatsoever in this weight, we can do that. You know, we can probably jump into some of that redness. I'm gonna take this vignette group. And then for this, oh, I'm gonna title this Yellow Skin. So I'll probably do like a 50% opacity brush, and then we'll work on these hands because I want to bring the redness in these hands back a little bit. And then we're going to keep this going along the inner edge of the arm while still keeping the outer edge that red shade. Yeah, we're going to fix all this color cast in here. And then the hand over here that's gripping, you can see all the blood kind of pumping through it. We want to bring that back. And then I'll bring this skin tone back on this side of the leg. I'll bring a little, maybe like 30%, just one pass. And then the yellowness, I see a lot of it in here. I'm trying to get real delicate with this. Maybe 50%. Yeah. Because hands aren't perfectly yellow. They have blood flowing through them, so they are going to have some redness to them. Looking for areas where it's just a little too yellow. Definitely here on the hand, we can kind of fix these spots. Maybe a little bit of this, a little bit of this here for sure. Kind of just trying to paint in some consistency in the skin tone. I'm getting it back in some spaces. What I can do to further this effect, actually, let me just a little bit more yellow to red down here. And I think that's good. Yeah, that really contextualizes the skin tone here, makes it even cleaner. I'm gonna go back into my tonal layer, and I am going to low opacity, low flow. Just paint this to be a little more even. Maybe dampening some of those highlights, or dodging or burning them down. Paint, 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 paint. Bring down those highlights, smooth out that skin. Maybe lift some of that redness. And then a little bit over here, yeah, just lifting these shadows, bringing down this highlighted tad, and we should be good. And yeah, that had a major result on what we got going on here. Perfect. I would consider this basic cleanup. This is pretty light retouching. I'm not doing any major manipulation. I'm not doing any compositing. All we're doing is just like touching up the skin, getting rid of distractions in the background, doing a little bit of generative fill to fix some reflections. Oh, I see this too. This is actually the light we were using. So in my cleanup layer, this should be really easy. I'm just gonna grab this. Just barely dodging that light. Make selection. We'll do contour fill because I've been going heavy on my AI credits this month. I kind of need to save some of those. And then we'll just do spot heal, spot heal. Good. does this have a white outline to it though? Don't like that. We're just gonna clone stamp it over. Yeah, why does it have an outline? Really not into that. There we go. And then we'll just bop those out. Alright, that looks like, oh, the exit sign in the back. It's deceiving because it looks like one of the matching red lights, but it's really just an exit sign, and we don't need that. Let's see if there's anything else weird back here. Maybe this? Definitely that. Nope, gotta keep that in, I guess. And then I'd love to get rid of this reflection. Maybe that white light too. Yeah, now this is a cleaner result. Nothing's really catching your eye too hard. Got the socks, got the branding, got the shirt, branding good. Shirt's clean. Shirt's very clean. Oh my god. I don't have to do anything to it. Probably get some of these flyaways. Some of these. One of these. That. And that's it. Could do a little bit of adjustment up here. And some of these flyaways. So I think a really quick way to do this, I'm not going to do it for this image, but a tool that I've found has been really cool to do this kind of work is the, what is this called? Remove tool. And you basically just go all the way around. It uses a little bit of actually, I'll do it right here. You kind of just paint this. And the reason I'm hesitant to do this is that it uses AI, so it's kind of regenerating a new result. So I might lose the shape of the arm, like the natural shape of the arm. But it does a good job of getting rid of these like distractions. Yeah, see? That's a pretty solid result. I also see, oops. I also see this back here. Get rid of that. Alright, cool. I think this is perfect. So we're going to save that. And then we can jump to our next image. How far in are we? Where are we at with it? Jump to live. Where's my duration? Oh, 28 minutes. Okay, not bad. So that was like a, what, 20-minute demo? But now that we've built the structure for our retouch, everything will go a little bit faster past that point. Alright, next on the docket, we got this subject. I'm gonna run my automatic retouching action as always. First thing I'm gonna do here is probably high frequency to start, just to correct a couple texture things. That's tonal, this is texture. And what makes frequency separation so difficult sometimes is just the practice of looking at an image and knowing exactly what is what when it comes to texture and tone. Like this issue right here, this dark spot with this highlight next to it, if if I just look at the layer alone, it is kind of a high frequency issue. And then this is the low frequency, so that dark spot is more low frequency, the highlight is high frequency. So I can kind of knock out this highlight just doing that, but I could not knock out this shadow. You can still see some of the darkness here in the shape there. But a lot of these highlights are going to be found in the high frequency. And admittedly, I did not custom do the Gaussian blur when setting this up, which I should enable that again. I used to have it enabled, because I think it's really important when you're working at subjects at different distances, taking up different amounts of the frame, your frequency separation settings for the low frequency are going to change every single time, because you need to kind of dial in like the exact right amount of blur for the image you're working on. This one I'm going to do, this is like a trick that I've learned. You do a low opacity clone stamp tool on a high frequency skin subject. Make sure that the sample's set to current layer, and you sample smooth skin and you kind of just brush, and it really softens that out without losing like all of the texture. And it's not like a one-to-one copy of what's going on. And then we'll do some tonal for that. I'm going to use a patch tool for most of this. And this is low frequency up here. You can see all that color variation. For the hairline, we're just going to use a patch tool and just grab and sample. And then I'm going to do the same trick over here on this highlight. Usually highlights in the forehead catch the most amount of texture, and this is a very normal experience. So you can just soften those highlight, because you are like, wherever the highlight hits the hardest, you're getting a lot of reflection and you're exposing the most amount of texture. That's better. I'm also going to just very quickly jump over to low tone and blend this out. Or actually I could do I'm going to feather this lasso sample and then do a Gaussian blur on the low frequency, and that helps blend out that highlight. It's mostly just that hard line that I wanted to diminish. That's better. I think we've managed all the texture things. I'm going to jump to tonal and handle low frequency now. Low opacity, low flow brush. I got my skin tone swatches right here. And now we're just going to paint. Yeah, and then this needs to get really smoothed out. You know, I think a feathered... This might be the trick for this area too. If I feather a lasso sample and just blur it on the low, that kind of removes all the harsh shaping from our shadows. There is a very delicate spot though, I want to keep a little bit of the shape, but not have it super defined. I think that's good. And now I can keep doing my tonal painting on top of that. And maybe there's some color consistency stuff we can kind of work on over here. That's better. This highlight here is kind of weird because it looks like there's a gap in the hair. That might be a generative solution. I'll play with it. I'm going to catch some of this texture from the hair too over here. And then we'll soften that out using this clone stamp trick. There we go. Back to tonal. I think I admittedly made this might be the wrong blur level for this image. So I'm gonna update my action so I can manually dial that in again. we're gonna blend this out. I'm gonna diminish this highlight, lift this shadow. Round this out. Keep taking those highlights down. And then if I could do the same with the other side, that'd be awesome. Maybe even just a little bit of like mixer brushing. It's actually this darkness might be in the high frequency, yeah. We'll just pull that out, we're good. With this, a little bit of tonal shaping. A little bit of lightning over here. More tonal shaping. There we go. A little highlight on the face is good. I can lift this entire area for sure. And we're gonna reshape and bring that highlight over to the side a little more. There could also, I think there's too much highlight right here. Yeah. A little bit too much highlight up here too. There we go. Let's see. Oh yeah, I wanted to lift this. We're just catching an awkward shadow right here. There we go. Oh, is this all in the high? Yeah, this is definitely the wrong settings for this frequency separation, because things that are supposed to be working in the tonal section are just not hitting. Yeah, we're working with such limited information down here. Oh, I'm also my mixer brush tool, which could be affecting this. There we go. I was like, why is nothing affecting this at all? Always pay attention to the tools that you have activated in Photoshop. That'll really mess you up. Which is doubly frustrating because it's like, the stuff we're already doing is so subtle that sometimes it is just hard to see, but it should not be the case in this scenario. So we have some... The skin tone is actually where I want it. From this previous image, I'm going to pull in my redness yellow vignette layers, just to have them in the document. This is the subject. Yeah, I kind of see it now. So we need to, before we jump ahead of ourselves with all these adjustments, probably slide down to clean up and just do general cleanup in the scene. Anything super obvious, just scuffs on the floor and stuff. The shoes are very clean. I'm impressed. This somehow cleaned itself up, or I caught it at a much better angle without as much glare. And I don't even have my lights in the scene. Honestly, this is the only instance. That's gone. This exit sign does need to go. I don't know about that one. Generative fill is going to keep this line continuous here. Content aware fill does not pick up on that as well. Yeah, see, that line remained constant in this version, which I appreciate. We will merge those two layers. I'm gonna cleanse or spot heal that. Nothing else that really needs to be like cleaned up in the background. This is actually a really good shot. Get rid of that. And the exit sign over here can go. Okay, we're also gonna jump into, oh, did tonal do stuff on the body as well? A little bit. We can fix some of these flyaways pretty easily. Actually, this is a great use case for our remove tool. Remove tool does a pretty good job of flyaways, I find, while still keeping the silhouette of the head. So we're gonna brush that up. We'll do that. We'll do this in chunks too. So 1 bit at a time. Oh, actually, this is... We'll do this. There we go. See, it just does such a good job of keeping the shape of the head the same. So I'll switch it back and forth between the spot healing and the remove tool. I like spot healing when it's just an individual strand going out. Like that, it does a really good job, and especially when the background is not complex. I'm having actually a hard time seeing this myself. That doesn't help me. That also doesn't help me. Oh, I need to clean my screen real bad. I'm just gonna look for the brightest highlights. So then that. I see this, this, and this. This one strand going down here, and then that. And then I see a lot of strands out here. This is where it's starting to get into remove territory because my spot healing just isn't doing a whole lot. So I'm just gonna sweep this kind of across the top of the head. Bam. It seemed to have introduced more flyaways. So I'm gonna do this the old-fashioned way. Clone stamp tool. Like 90%. Sample current and below. And just dampen that. Bam. It works because it's kind of a uniform dark background, so that's good. And then I'm just going to clean up the internal flyaways. And then knock out all those like bright white highlights that the individual strands are catching. Smooth that out, smooth that out. There we go, these highlights here. And then what we can do on top of this is I'll just do a dark brush, maybe even like black, and just burn this down, darken that detail, and smooth it out at the same time. There we go. See, we brought a lot of that hair back to life. Alright, kind of just going down the track. We can allow some flyaways on the outer edge. It helps keep things looking real. Just gonna go after those really bright highlights and the strands that kind of move farthest away from the silhouette. Like, these are fine. This is acceptable. So a big part of my retouching process is like kind of on this cleanup layer, where I go in with a spot healing tool and I just work through the image piece by piece, just grabbing stuff and tapping on it. Oh, that's a good one. There we go. And then all the internal highlight hairs. This is really bright highlight. You kind of have to have a really critical eye when you're going through these things too. I think that's all for cleanup. Oh, I did want to see if we could address this area. First, I'll try to do a solution to this. 2020. And then we just brush this down and try to like blend it out just through painting it, I think. I don't know how much we're impacting it. Seems like we're hitting our limit pretty quick. Yeah. Generative it is. Let's see if we can get a nice result off of this. We do like the hairline. That's not an issue with that. It's just that we want to fix the highlight happening here. Alright, let's see what this gives us. We're getting there. That's a good one. This is the one we want. This is a great job. Alright, cool. Perfect, just what we wanted. Just filling in that a little bit. Now, I'd like to blend out this harsh shadow. Just smooth that a little bit. We can even go in and kind of reshape the edge of this a little bit. Maybe lift some of that too. And then we soften that, yeah. Yep, just blend that out a little bit. That looks so good. Okay, great. Now, get into subject. We'll do the whitening, whiten the teeth. They're already pretty white to begin with, to be honest. Teeth brightness, whiten the eyes. Eye brightness. That's beautiful, so shiny, so sparkly. Redness, 50%, opacity, brush. And we're just targeting the most red areas of the skin. Or wherever that like real deep red color cast is coming from. Like down here. A little bit on the torso. This might be hitting a little too hard, so I'm gonna go in and change the settings, bring it down to like a 4. Because we are seeing it here as well. This will be good for the hands. Now, is there any issues with yellowness? A little bit here. Trying to be really perceptive of this. Over here. That seems to be it. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then we just slap our vignette on. There's nothing we have to adjust with the weight, with the hands. Maybe a little bit with the hands. We'll do that 20% 20% clone stamp tool just to reduce some of that texture. I think this is also a tonal thing. Too much. 2020. Alright, so we lift this, darken that, keep lifting this. I need to darken this hand. This hand's getting a lot of light for some reason. There we go. And this, we'll lift that a little bit. Alright, yeah, that looks good. I think this is in a good spot. Yep. I think one last thing I'm going to do here is use this remove tool again. And then we're going to just clean up that hairline with Ted. Hopefully this gives me a good result. What do we do here? Not really what I'm looking for. If anything, I think just the spot heal will sort of correct this. Yeah. Alright, save that. Next image. Oh, this one I'm very excited about. Actually, I'm gonna grab some water real quick. I will be right back. Alright, what up, what up? We are back, we are hydrated, and ready to work on some more images. Okay, we got this image, which we've technically already opened in Photoshop, so I'm just gonna open it again. Good. We can close that document. Oh, these are all like not named right. Hold on, I need to do some stuff. So we didn't change the naming convention of these. That's funny. You might get a little insight into some of the behind the scenes we did here, but let's see. Scroll down to where we're at. Okay, 425. We'll just do like a patch rename. Oh no, that's gonna rename the Photoshop ones too, isn't it? Cancel. How far did we get? Kind. File type. What am I looking for? Name, date, rating, ISO, width, height, size, exported, aperture, extension. Okay, cool. But then we also want to do down. There we go. Actually, yeah, extension, we'll just take all these and put them in the selects folder. Alright, now we can do capture time. Listen. Where is my scroll bar? It's so hard to see. Yes, and then we did the headshots and then the action shots. Okay, cool. So this onward should be Barry's action 425. Barry's action. Rename. Now all these will be renamed properly, and then I only have to change, I think, us. Actually, we can even close this and delete the last one we just made. So what's up, y'all? Alright, there we go. Now, if I go to selects, and then go to these 4 images, well, technically we didn't do anything with this one. We can delete. This one we also didn't do anything with, so we can delete that as well. Because I just needed those for thumbnails. So these two are the only ones that, if we filter out 5-star images, we just have to rename for, okay, so this is still 437. Really? Yeah, and this is, delete that. Action 471. Okay, cool. Alright, so what will we... Oh, I have to fix that Photoshop action. That's what I have to do. So we're gonna open this with Photoshop so we can get a hold of those layers that we created before. And then, do we need to do any post-processing to this? I think this is good. I don't think anything's blown out or missing. The information seems solid. Edit this with Photoshop. Alright, so Oh, I forgot to do the. No, we gotta reset this. Back to the beginning. Because I need to toggle. The Gaussian blur. Step. There we go. Now this should work. It's gonna prompt me to change my Gaussian blur level. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's actually super low on these images. That's why I was having such a difficult time with. Yeah, I think 3.5 is where it's going to be at. It defaults to 8 for my action, so making sure that that's checked will do a better job separating high frequency, low frequency. Yeah, it's a lot more of the low frequency right there. So now high frequency is going to be stuff like that, and that, and this, and this, and this, and the hairs, and the textures. And now when I do this like smoothing feature, I'm not losing a ton of my contour and tone. And now my tonal modifications will have a better impact too. This feels so much better. So setting up your frequency separation correctly can make a huge difference. Now my actions feel like they have a much stronger consequence, and I feel like I have way more control over this edit now. Yep. Alright, this might be easy to paint out. I can probably do a little bit of high frequency, just pulling that out. A little bit of softening effect up here. And then there's probably small tonal inconsistencies that can be fixed just from painting right here. Yep. Go. This comes down. Same with this. this still comes down. That all looks pretty good actually. Just small blemish on flesh. This can get readjusted. There's some dodging. Maybe I didn't like blend it from the opposite side, although that highlight might be kind of lost. I can probably, yeah, maybe I just mixer brush those two together, and then we take that texture separation and blend it out. Might be getting a little too lost in the weeds here. Probably need to zoom out a little bit. There we go. Oh, gotta back off on that a little bit. Yeah, now my low frequency adjustments are like really hitting. I can just probably burn that down. I may need to do a real special move on this in my subject group. I'm gonna have to do like a hand recovery layer where I pull down the white point, pull down the yellow point on the, and then like a little bit of red, just a tiny bit of red. And then that kind of simulates a fake highlight recovery. Yep, there we go. Pulls back some of those highlights quite nicely. I can probably do the same thing up here too. A little bit of weird color stuff going on. If I'm done with tonal, which I think I am, I can do that color layer in here. Let me not hit this so hard though. Okay, now we do all this stuff and that. Pull that into this document. throw those in here. This is highlight recovery. We'll do our no teeth, but our eye whitening right here. Eye brightness, just like that. It's hitting a little hard. We'll back that off. 240. The redness, 50%. Are we seeing some redness? Here, definitely here. On the side of the face, a little bit under the nose. Not so much there, a little bit there, definitely there. Some on the torso, not a lot on the torso. Some over here. On the hand. A little bit down here. Definitely on this hand. And then yellowness. Definitely a little bit of that. Right there. Alright, that looks good. Now just the big one, which is cleanup. Exit sign. Content where fill on the cleanup side. Man, come on. You can't draw a straight line. It's fine. Generative fill it is. Oh, I like that one to put a light there. That's fun. Merge those. Whatever this is can go. Hopefully spot heal just disappears it. Yep. And then that exit sign back here. It's fine, it's not noticeable. This floor is kind of messy, but am I gonna really be bothered to mess with it that much? Most of it lives in the low frequency. So I think I can just do big grabs of flooring. Is this gonna mess with my focus plane at all? I mean, that's a small improvement. I feel like I am losing like sharpness in the floor a little bit here. I don't know, let's go for it. Just grab all that, sample from here. Better than it was. And I can always just do like a burn layer. Oops. We could just like tonally paint the floor. Yeah. And we can bring this in too. Oh, but that's gonna reveal all of our cleanup, isn't it? Oh, the little bit that we do have. It's fine. scratchy texture here too. Yeah, I don't want to mess with the floor too much. It gets really bad looking quick. There we go. That's fine. That's a better floor than it was in the beginning, right? Yeah. And then the last thing we have to do is oh, there we go. I can actually clone stamp that down as long as we sample current and below. Really just kind of soften the edge there. It's good. There we go. And then we can do spot healing on these flyaways. Whoop. Cool. Let's see. I wonder if this will work. I mean, not bad. And then all I need to do is just take this and push this in. And then take that all the way up to the edge. There we go. That looks pretty good. And then these couple of strands down here. I think that's pretty solid. And then subject, and then that. Although we need to back. We need to do a subject selection. Oh, we need to merge all this so I get a proper selection on her. That should be good. Oh, I didn't realize there's hair back there. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Just subtract that from the selection. And that way that's not encroaching on her. I didn't even realize that that was there though. I guess we can get rid of this. There we go. Alright, looks good. Update that document. Then we have all the group stuff. Oh, I could. How many images do we have? 1, 2, 3. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I can probably do 2 more images. I'll do this one. Alright, edit width. Now it's kind of like clockwork, we're just doing the same workflow on repeat, and this is what a lot of retouching is like once you figure out for an individual shoot or project like what the workflow is very much rinse and repeat. Ugh, come on. Let's bring this down. And we just want to barely lose detail. 4.5 seems correct here. Alright, hair, pretty much flawless. Skin, really good. Couple of flyaways, no big deal. Oh, we ran out of a playlist. Run that back. It's more like here. Just a little bit of lint on the tank top. Shorts, clothes are super clean. Legs looking great. That's musculature, I'll leave that alone. Man, there's barely anything I have to do to this. This is great. We're gonna do eyes and teeth. Do we need extra brightness in this? No, it's already kind of clipping. We do need to bring in those skin tone layers though from previous shots. And then our vignette layer as well. Alright, 50% opacity, full flow. We're just going to reduce the redness. I may need to add a little bit of vibrance to the skin tone on this shot. I think since we changed positions, the lighting might have just changed the amount of color cast we're getting. Because we're losing a little bit of color on this side and we're losing a little bit of color over here. There's a tonal solution for this, I bet. Yeah. Oh, too much. There we go. Alright. Maybe some more brightness in the face? More brightness in the subject overall? Or is that the vignette that's just hitting him a little hard? Yeah. Select subject. We're gonna subtract that from our vignette. So this is only hitting the background now. We still want to make him a little brighter. So I'll just give this his own layer. Just a little bit, and then same thing, vibrance. I'm gonna pump that up. You know what, I'm just gonna put that on the subject layer, and then there we go. Yeah, that's better. Helps bring back some of that color and that life. Cool. Still feel like we need more light on the face. I'm gonna do a levels layer with a radial gradient, pull that in here. So that's hitting kind of the face from the side. Pull up those whites. There we go. That's what I want. Might even just reshape that a little bit. There we go. So this is intersecting with this and only hitting just the face and then falling off very quickly. This looks good though. Oh, that exit sign. Ew, gotta get rid of that. Unfortunately, this is gonna have to be a gen fill just because it intersects with his head. Did not mean to do that. Make selection, gen fill. Trying to see whatever gives me the most amount of hair back. Probably this. And then I can bridge that gap. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And there's no crazy reflections in the background, right? Like nothing that you can distinctly see. So that's really good for us. That exit sign, there you are. My arch nemesis. Now how did I mess that up? It should be this simple. You can't figure out to do this? cool. Maybe drop that. Any of these yellow lines we can kind of drop. Or, no, I'm not gonna go through the trouble. That's fine. I think this looks good. We'll save, we'll move on. Group shot. So it's retouching. We'll do this scene. Alright, what is going on here? Run the action. Let's dial in this radius. Probably 4. 4 might be a little too much even. Let's see. Actually, that might be perfect. Wow. Alright. Alright, let's do some tonal painting. Just jump right into that. I wonder if I can just clip that out, just grab it and put it somewhere else. Ah. Right there. If we can do the same with the skin, then it shouldn't be an issue. Not hating on it. Let's keep cooking. I don't mind that, as long as we paint this back in, right? Go. Then we just need to blend this out. Mixer brush. Do your thing. There we go. That's a major improvement. keep walking this up here. Probably need to move this strand of hair out of the way. There we go. That was really distracting. What else we got? At this point I'm just trying to find like quick solutions. So if I can knock it out with a quick patch tool, I will. Hopefully a little bit of vascularity. Probably do something about the lighting on the forehead. Just smooth it out a little bit. Go back, current layer. That looks a lot better. And some of it is just like adjusting my own lighting, but that's okay. I don't mind doing these kinds of things in post. Alright, we got there's like a dark spot on the hand we can brighten up that we created doing our frequency separation. Same with this. We bring this down. We bring this up. Lift this. Lift this. Undo that. There we go. There we go. Maybe a little bit of tonal over here, but I don't think we need a whole lot. then our subject layers, and our vignette. Oh, this actually we need to transform. Oh, it's stay on the right one. Whatever. There we go. Maybe back that off a little bit, and then we'll fix this. All right. Whitening. Get real in there with it. Barely needs it. Good. Eyes, actually. Oh, this is the eye brightness one. Oh, whatever. Highlight recovery, don't need that layer. Redness, 50%. Come in here, hit this, hit this, hit this. A little bit of that. Some of the hands, some of the knees. Side of the leg, the knees again. Hands for sure. A little bit of that, a little bit of this. Cheek, nose, forehead, side of that. Okay, and then the yellowness, not too bad. A little bit over here. A lot of this right here, some right in there. A little bit of that. Alright, these are super distracting. We gotta kind of do something with this here. That's better. Kind of want to just increase the brightness of the entire image. We could use a white point boost for sure. There we go. And then clean up, exit sign, all this junk. Make selection, gem fill. Alright, that looks good. Merge that with this. Clean up. A little bit in the back. That. This exit sign probably gets genned. filled out. That looks good. Do a little bit of floor cleanup here and there. This. Perfect. A little bit of flyaway action, not a lot. And then this, I believe I can just stretch this down. Okay. And then whatever's going on over here. My entire strip box in action. Let's just remove that. Cool. Okay. Oh, there's one more exit sign back here. There we go. I think that's complete. I like that I brought up the white point. That makes me feel a lot better. Everything looks really good here. Alright, save, and where are we at? 258, 73. I think I have time for one last image. And then we're out of here. So what do we want to work on? This one has our good layers in it, right? Yeah, we can close everything else. So, retouch, 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 retouch. These three, I might be able to, oh, these two. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. Let's work on this one. So if GenFill does a good job on this, I want to get rid of this beam because I think it's way too close to his head and it's really distracting. Oh wait, I am going way out of order here. My goodness. Fire up the action, then we can do all this stuff. I should go to what's in focus. Who is in focus? Oh, this is the focus point. Well, it's gonna be like 3 pixels, and really not a lot here. we have some detail over here to work on, but not a ton. There we go. Probably need to brighten him entirely, but that was the easier part. Moving over here is just a little bit of like color correction. Even still, I don't think there's really anything to it. Might have to bring in that highlight recovery layer on this one. Hoping I can just get some stuff back on this. I just did a very wide sweeping grab and pulled from like here. Better, I guess. I guess we can have a little bit of highlight. I'll just try to reduce the texture as much as possible. That's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna pull in a lot of stuff from the last image as well. Cleanup, not terrible. This gotta go. Cannot have my light in the background. No. There we go. Is this distracting? Not really. It's fun over here. Kinda don't like this just hanging off though. That's better. And do we have any like nonsense going on over here? not too much. One moment. Alright, we're back. Need to bring this down. I wonder if I can grab this. It's not terrible. Same with this. I'll accept that. And then these. Okay. So I'm gonna bring in subject and vignette layers. This is actually working really well, getting rid of all that flare back there too. Lift, I don't need to hit this as hard. Maybe I'll even just back off some of it here on the leg. I don't need to pop that highlight too much. There we go. Turn that off. Subject. Whiten. It's just the teeth here. Brightness. Eyes. Probably don't need to do that. Redness. Alright, so the redness, 50% opacity brush. Really get in there and start painting. What is this coming from? Oh. Oh, that's terrifying. Don't like that. Just need to paint this in one more time. Alright, now back to our redness layer. That down, that down. Ear can come back a little bit, these cheeks. Definitely on the torso. A lot of that red light is spilling in. We don't want that. Redness hitting the arms. And then redness here. Yeah, we can take this back. And then yellow, we'll dial that back too. So we're kind of pushing the red into yellow, pushing the yellow back into red, but we're really controlling where that happens. And the levels at which we're pulling stuff back kind of help blend it into a very real skin tone. Yellow, 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 yellow here. There's some yellow right there, up in here, over the top, this area, this this. I feel like we could push that red even farther. Probably don't need to. I think a brightness will help us a lot too. Let's see if we can do a subject grab of these guys. It did something. It definitely did something. That is a start. It's not a terrible start either. Oh, I gotta pen tool this. Luckily it's an easy shade. Oh, no, meant to add that to selection. Oh, it's none of the watch, got it. That's fine. Please grab that head. There we go. Good job. Not a bad selection. Alright, I got some weird stuff going on here. Deselect these dumbbells. And then include, oh, we also want to deselect all this. Subtract from selection. And then this, I hope this actually does a good ad. Okay, I'll take that. We'll mask that as subject. And then we'll pop in there brightness. Yeah. I think they definitely need that little boost. I might even do extra boost on him. Yeah. He needed that for sure. That's really solid. Alright, save document. I think we are good where we're at. Let's see, are we calling it there? At least we retouched our, we do not need Windows 11, go away. We retouched our thumbnail shot, so I'm gonna open this with Photoshop. And then we can open our thumbnail. And then we'll update the thumbnail with this. Is that aligned? Okay, cool. Well, I guess that's the way we had it. Yep. Even better thumbnail. Alright, now we can update everything. Oh wait. Is this actually missing? Yes. Oh my goodness, come on. There we go. Replace that, and then we can go on YouTube, and then we can change the thumbnail. And then update the real thumbnail. Good. Alright, and that's where I will leave with today's stream. We got this, and this edited. I think this is a pretty solid foundation. We got some great scenes. There we go. I think this is awesome. I would say successful stream. Got 6 images out of the, I think, like 14 that I have to work on, so that's 8 left, but they're all group scenes, so they're gonna take forever. Probably gonna knock those out off stream, but I have a ton of shoots coming up, so there will definitely be more content to stream. I'm gonna switch to face cam. So I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope you learned a little bit. If you want to learn more about retouching, subscribe, like the video. Feel free to comment on any of my other live streams or tutorials with any questions. I'd be happy to answer you. If you want to see these images when they're finally published, follow me on Instagram at Daniel Livingstone, same as my YouTube. And that's it for today. I have some more fitness streams coming up in the near future. Subscribe to be tuned into those. And as always, my name is Daniel Livingstone. You be sure to do something creative today. See you in the next one. Take care.